Simon Calder, and as befits the UK's #1 travel journalist, he's always in an exotic location. Today it's Setúbal in Portugal. Welcome, Simon. Is this a risk by Qantas? Is it going to be popular?
Oh, I think it's going to be monumentally popular with a very small niche market, but that's all they need, frankly. Yes, so we are talking here about a flight of 16,800 kilometres between Sydney, Australia and London. It's called the Holy Grail. It's the final link in the chain of intercontinental air routes. At the moment, of course, there are no non-stops. You can fly between the UK and Australia, but only to Perth. And anybody who knows Australia knows that you have several thousand kilometres still to cover. The opportunity also to fly the slightly shorter distance, around 15,900 kilometres to New York is also going to be a huge benefit to Qantas. But as you say, this is going to be carrying a relatively small number of people in 4 classes. And the idea is that business travellers, people who are desperate to see loved ones, who simply do not want to stop in one of the world's great hubs like Istanbul or one of the Gulf hubs or Singapore or Hong Kong, they will pay a premium, maybe thousands of dollars, to be able to make that in one go.
Yeah, it is going to be more expensive. But Simon, talk to us about economy class passengers. OK, we know that business class, you get that bed practically. Your food is of a higher quality. You get treated better for the money you're paying. What are the problems going to be for an economy class passenger spending 20 hours? In actual fact, we've been looking at it, and the seats won't be too much bigger, if at all.
No, exactly right. Your research is spot on. It is going to be a very, very, very long haul. Now, I've done the London to Perth flight, which is 17 or 18 hours, depending which direction you are going in, and you can tolerate that. But if you add another 2, 3, 4 hours on top of that, it really is beginning to push at the boundaries. This will not be an economy class for those of us who are more time rich than cash rich, and I think that it will appeal mostly to the sort of people who are just desperate to get to the other side of the world. In particular, probably actually older people with mobility issues, because they do not wish to get off at a hub airport in the middle of the night and change aircraft. They would pay for the privilege of just staying there and sitting there. So it's not going to become a mass market thing. It will continue to be the case that the great hubs of the world and the great hub carriers such as Turkish Airlines, such as Emirates, such as Qatar Airways, will continue to get the vast majority of travel intercontinental distances. But this will be useful. And of course, the main signal, as you rightly suggested at the start, is that this is aviation waking up again after the COVID pandemic and say, we're back. We are doing things even better, even bolder than before. But can I also just mention the environmental costs? This is going to be very, very harmful relative to existing 1 or 2 stop options, simply because you carry so much fuel in order to fly the fuel for later on in the journey. It's very, very heavy in using up fuel, burning fuel, but Qantas says they will offset all of this and make it carbon neutral. I'm looking forward to finding out how.
Yeah, absolutely the same. I think it was a few years ago, Simon, and I believe it was Lockheed Martin, the American company, was working on a project that would send its aircraft actually out of the atmosphere. So the flight from London to Sydney would take 3 hours. That's what I'm waiting for. Very, very quickly,
sure.
Simon, if you don't mind, what will the effect be on the pilots? I mean, there's obviously a required amount of time that they are not allowed to fly. And 20 hours flying time, are you thinking that at least they're going to need 4 pilots?
They will certainly use 4 pilots, and indeed one of the stumbling blocks, one of the sticking points for setting this up has been what you do about crew hours, crew pay, and resourcing it. But certainly at least 4 hours, a lot of cabin crew, and they will enjoy the luxury of having some beds to sleep in, unlike you and me sitting in the back of economy.
I don't believe it, Simon. Mind you, you do look as if you're at an all-you-can-eat buffet, so maybe you do travel economy, but I'm not sure. Thanks a lot, Simon Calder.
Thank you.